is about improving the email deliverability from within a WordPress website. The standard way that WordPress sends out email notifications to you through WordPress is it's similar to what's called a PHP mail function. Sometimes it's not always deliverable. So in that case, it's a good idea to add what's called SMT email. So we'll go into the dashboard of this website, and what we're going to do is add a free plugin, or the free version of this particular plugin, because that's all we really need. And I wouldn't mind actually purchasing a professional version of these plugins, but I can't find any lifetime licenses. And so far, I haven't actually found any reason why I would need it beyond the free version. So just typing in SMTP here to find the SMT plugins, and we'll see a few results here. The one from Fluent and the WP Manager team. It's got a lot of good reviews. I did run into a problem with this, but I must be one of the few ones that did, because I like this team and they are helpful with their support. And because I do own a number of their other products, I can sneak in and get priority support on this free one. But I actually choose to use this one instead. It's got more installations. It's got loads more installations, actually 2 million versus 30,000. And that's a pretty good rating, getting 5 stars when you've got that many installations. Anyway, let's install that and I'll show you how that works. Now, of course, you need an email address, an SMTP email account to make this work. So I'll go into the client's cPanel. Let's just try and find where that cPanel is. Email notification. No, that's not it. Maybe it's here under web hosting. This is Crazy Domains yeah, there it is. There's the control panel. This is Crazy Domains, and I'll do maintenance on anyone's WordPress website regardless of where it's hosted, but there are limitations when I'm working with particular hosting environments, such as Crazy Domains. They're probably not my top pick of email, of cPanel hosting and service and the whole kit and caboodle. I'm going to create an email called online, which is often what I call the emails that I use as WordPress sort of sending scenario emails. And now we'll use the password generator to put in a password. But because this password's visible, I'm just going to see what happens when I paste this password into here, whether that's visible. That's not visible, so that's good. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause the video. I mean, no one needs to know what that password, right? No one needs to know, except for maybe the client if they want to know. So I'll save that securely in my password wallet over here, just in case that they do. Because once you put a password into when you're creating an email through a cPanel, you never get to see that password again. So unless you make a safe backup of it somewhere, then you won't be able to see that. Okay, so I'm just going to make a safe password, make a record of it, put it in here. We'll make it unlimited, and we don't need a welcome email, and then we'll create the account. So I'll just pause the video and do that, but so you can see the process, and I will record the details into my wallet. Okay. All right. Once that account's been created, you'll see a section under email accounts that says configure email client or configure devices, different on different cPanels. Basically, we just want to know the name of the the ports and the actual name of the mail server. In this case, the name of the mail server is the same as the website. So I hope that's accurate, Crazy Domains. We'll soon find out. And so just take note of that. I've copied that data as well, so I don't need to go back and access that page. So now we activate this plugin. We're back in WordPress, and we'll activate this plugin, WP Mail SMTP by WP Forms. Okay. And just wait, let's get started. Now, if you've got different email that you want to use other than SMTP, I personally prefer using SMTP for my clients, because when I do maintenance on any website, I always like to have access to their cPanel, and generally the cPanel uses SMTP Mail. There could be other situations where they've set it up to use Outlook, or maybe they prefer to use Gmail, whatever. So we're using SMTP, and so that's other SMTP, not this one, smtp.com, this one called other SMTP, okay? And save and continue. So remembering that I kept those details, I'm just going to make sure when I double click, in fact, I'm going to pause my video. I want to make sure when I double click open my password wallet, you don't see my password. I'll just keep that open in a separate window. So we need the name of the host, and we know that that is the name of the website. The encryption, let's go for the recommended, which is TLS, okay? And the port. So the outgoing port, incoming, outgoing, I'm looking for is 465. We'll enable authentication. And again, I'm not sure whether this is going to display the password or not, so I'm just going to pause it before I enter that one in. Force from name, no, we won't force it. And so we will call it Eye of the Tiger Fitness, but we'll make it from this email online, and that way we know it's anything from the website. It's a separate email. With cPanel, you can make as many email addresses as you want generally, depending on your hosting plan. But this won't generate a lot of space on the server. I think we will leave that on force. We will force the email name because that's what we're sending it through, okay? And I'll just put, like I say, I'll just put this on pause while I enter that password. All right, I've entered everything, including the password, the SMTP host, etc., etc. Now we can save and continue. Now, which features do you want? Yeah. Weekly email summary, okay. And these are when you pay. Detailed email logs, manage default notifications. Well, we don't see. I don't really need any of that. The things that I really need is just improved email deliverability. That's all I really need. Everything else I can sort out by myself. So that's why I haven't been given a really important reason to do this. I've already set this account up on many other platforms, so I don't really need this either. And because even though this is anonymous, I just don't turn this on generally for my clients. I do, however, turn this on for my websites that I run. I don't mind a bit of anonymous data to help them make things better, but I wouldn't do that on behalf of my clients because they haven't asked for that. They can always go in and activate it if they want, but yeah, there you go. All right. We're going to skip this step because that's for pro. Now it's checking our configuration. And that usually happens quicker than that, so I'll just put that on pause so I don't bore you to death. All right, we got an error there. So it's inviting us to return back to the settings, which we'll need to do. And for some reason, it's not taking us back to the settings. It's sticking around on this page again, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'll just put the video on pause again to let it go through and do its routine. No, I've given it plenty of time and it's still giving me this. So, and we can't click on this either. So I guess what we're going to have to do is just go back into the dashboard. Now here's a shortcut. We all know, should know by now, that the dashboard is the name of the website / WP-admin. Okay, so we'll go back there and we'll have a look at these settings again. So the settings are generally, for something like this, it would be under settings, but I'm not seeing the mail in there. So where else could this be hiding? I'm not seeing it on the side anywhere here, and I'm not, oh, there it is here on the side. Okay. What I was going to say, if I didn't find it here, I would have gone to plugins, and generally you can access the settings from there as well. So you find where that plugin is here, and then you can access the settings. Or if you can't find the settings there, you can view the details and read the documentation a bit more and try and work out where those settings actually are. But we've actually found them. They're over here on the left. So let's go over there and have a look. All right. We're using light, no license needed. Okay, well, that's good. We've already done the setup wizard and that didn't work. So we're going to try and work out which is the wrong setting here. If we just go back here and have a look, this take note that this is SSL or TLS. And it's not usual to have the name of the server, just the name of the website. So I'll try that the second go. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go for SSL with auto TLS, keep the authentication on and everything else on, and press save settings, okay? So that's the first basic thing I'm going to try. Instead of, and you can see, I mean, it's quite confusing why they would have TLS, but then you've got this option for SSL, and then with auto TLS. So yeah, so let's try it that way. But we need to do a test. If we don't do a test, and now the wizard's not on, I'll do a test to this email of mine and see if that works. Generally, when you're doing these tests, it'll tell you if it was successful or not. And generally, if it says it was successful, then yes, you did get it. All right, now it's given us the warning that we could set up DMARC in the zone records for the control panel. I'm not going to do that as part of this lesson. It's not necessary, and it's not going to help with the deliverability anyway. But I might do that later on down the track. But that's not what this email's about. The test email might have sent, but its deliverability should be improved. Well, yeah, I don't know. I might save DMARC for at the end of this. Let's just make sure we get this email first, okay? And yes, we have. Congrats, the test email was sent successfully. Thanks for trying it out, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now it works. And so now we know that the SMTP plugin's working properly. What we should probably do now is, now if I've built your website, or if I've helped install the software for you, generally you're going to be using the premium form builder called Formidable Forms. And this customer's got 7 different forms that need updating and testing now under Formidable. So we'll go in there and do that. By the way, if you're looking for good nutrition and health advice and you're on the Central Coast, Matt's the guy. He's been watching some of his training videos and that, and yeah, he's a really nice person to deal with. So I highly recommend him. We've only been working together for a short while, but he really he knows what he's talking about. But more than that, he's a nice person to work with. That makes all the difference for me. So let's have a look. We've got the form settings. Oh, sorry, I'm looking under bloody Gravity. That's the old forms. We imported all the forms into Formidable. They're the only ones I'm interested in updating at the moment, is the Formidable forms. And again, I still got that wrong, didn't I? I'm still in Gravity. I need to be here under Formidable and see all these Formidable forms. Alright, so we'll go into settings for Formidable Forms. And I'm not going to do every single one for you as part of this video. I'll just do one of them, and then I'll do the rest not on video, so I don't bore you to death. But basically what I'm doing is going to actions and notifications, and where this email is being sent out, I'm going to change it to be, instead of be from Matt at Eye of the Tiger, this will be online at Eye of the Tiger. Okay. And that's all we need to do. So I'll just fix up that one. And then I'm going to do the rest. But before I go and do the rest, look, let's do that DMARC thing then. We may as well, as part of the video, we may as well talk about that and just quickly go into the zone records. Alright, so under the email test, let's see if that warning is still up there, or we may need to generate it again. No, we need to generate it again. So we'll send another test email so that we can get that guide up there on DMARC. It's the quickest way. Okay, it doesn't look like DMARC's been set up. We recommend using it because it helps protect your domain from unauthorized use. Please check our step-by-step guide on how to do it. So let's have a look what this step-by-step guide says. It tells you what a DMARC record is. It tells you that WP Mail will warn you if you haven't got it there. Check your DNS with the DMARC Analyzer. MX Toolbox is pretty good to track the email deliverability. Alright, so add a DMARC record using our example. Alright, so we're going to go into the hosting thing, and we're going to add a record, and it will be a DMARC record. A DMARC record is a text record starting with DMARC. In the large field, in the DNS record, paste in this DMARC record. All right, so it's just a copy and paste job. Obviously, we've got to replace me at example.com, okay? So then they explain why they use these settings for TTL. So we can see it's a text record, the name, the content, and the TTL, okay? So let's go in and do that. So we probably start from here again and go to the C panel. I still had those windows open, obviously. And let's look for the zone records. So we've got files, email, domain. It could be under depends where they put it. No, not databases. Okay, so domains, aliases, simple zone editor. Let's see what the advanced zone editor looks like. So we need a text record. We need this, but we need it with the name of this domain, which I'll just copy from the website, copy and paste, so I know that I'm not making any errors. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that example and paste in mail to, just a sec. So me at, I might just read that a little bit more. Okay, so content, save you to add the, if you already have a DMARC rule, check the formatting, pay attention to the name field. If you use at or your domain name in the name field, it won't work. If you use at or your domain name in the name field, it won't work. Oh, that's the name field. We've got the content field here. No, we've got to read this a bit more. Okay, be sure to change the mail to address. It should ideally be set to the email address that your mailer service provides in its documentation. If it doesn't provide one, you can use an email address at your own domain. All right, well, it's still not that clear, is it? I'm just going to put this on pause while I look this up a little bit more, because this account has 2 email addresses and I don't want his other email address to stop working just in the course of making this one work. So I'll just put this video on pause and just find a little bit of further information. So I'm just looking up DMARC record, and I've got an entry here from MX Toolbox, which I think is a really good service. So let's just have a quick look at what they say about it. All right, so reading through this, that mail to, and I guess that mail to is a giveaway because in HTML, mail to : is the mail function that sends to a particular address. So that is the actual email address that will actually receive the DMARC reports. Okay, and I noticed I'd set this up on another email address, and you will get reports each week on the deliverability of your email, and it will get sent to that address. So I remember that now. So let's actually put in the client's email address into that zone record. Would make the most sense. And I'll just double check that we've got, just a sec, we'll go back to email setup and just make sure, we'll just make sure that the owner of that account gets that actual zone record. All right, so we're back in making the zone. Just, sorry, bear with me until I find the right window. So the advanced zone editor. All right, so the name and the TTL, okay, I've got it in the wrong window. This should be, okay, TTL is actually a number value, and we just copy it from all the other TTL values down here, okay, which is 14400. Then we need the name of that email address, and again, try and always copy and paste so that you don't make typos, which is probably one of the biggest ways to fall down when you're doing this type of stuff. Copy and paste is your friend. All right, then the name. Let's go back to our guide over here on DMARC about what the name should be. So adding a DMARC, blah, 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 add a record, name. Okay, is a text record starting with DMARC. So in the drop-down select text, so it's a text record, yes. In the name field, have this underscore DMARC with a dot, with the period at the end. See, it specifies that. Some hosts don't need a period, so they'll remove it or show an error. In that case, you can safely use DMARC without the period. Then we've got all of this, and we're just going to go through their best advice, which you can read yourself if you're interested. All I'm interested in is just following the best advice, best practices. If that doesn't work, then I'll read some more. All right, so that all looks good. It's the text record. There's the TTL value as per all the other values. Same. The proper text data, which is going to get sent to Matt. We add this record, and we're done. The system successfully added the record. So when we come back to our tools over here again, let's just do one more test email of this one and see what WP Mail tells us now. No, but that's probably because this hasn't propagated yet. It takes a little bit of time to propagate when you add your zone record. So I will come back to this later and double check that it's giving us a correct result there. All right, so I'm just going to go through the rest of the forms now. I'll put the video on pause because I reckon that this will propagate pretty quick. We'll just wait and see. All right, so I've gone through all the forms and updated all the forms to send from online at eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au. But if Matt doesn't actually want that, then all he needs to do is come down to the settings, and all he needs to do is update. Instead of online, he can have his preferred email address there at eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au. And obviously he needs to update his password, and so we'd fix up that one as well there to the preferred email address. I personally don't actually want access to the client's email address. I don't really need it. That's why I prefer just going into cPanel and creating administrative email accounts to do work like this. But it might be that he would prefer that his customers, when they receive emails from the website, he might prefer it to be from his personal email address. So that's very easy for the client to update there, but I've already gone through and tested it, so I know that it all works. All right, so let's just do this test and one more go. We've given it a bit of time now. It might have propagated within this time. Let's just wait and see. No, it's still saying that it's not set up properly. So I'm going to leave it another, say, 30 minutes or so, because propagation can take, well, some people say 1 to 2 days. In my experience, it generally happens within the hour. But then again, we're talking crazy domains as well. Not that may make any difference or not, but yeah. So just back to this record here. If you're not weather sure, you've got set up, you can use a DMARC checker on MX Toolbox. So here, let's see what MX Toolbox has to say about it. We'll just look at it with a fresh set of eyes. Domain name, DMARC lookup. It's still saying that it's not enabled. Let's just go down to our hosting records and let's see if we've got that text record that's a DMARC in here. Remember I made that one that said DMARC? And we're looking at it here and I can't see any DMARC. Let's just refresh that. Okay, so there we go, DMARC. And it's gone and written its own version of it for Crazy Domains version. It's calling it DMARC.eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au. Same text there. That's all correct. And mail to Matt. So that should be right. I'm just going to assume it hasn't propagated yet. So yeah, I'll just put this video on pause. Actually, the more I think about it, Matt, I was going to ask you if I could have made this video private for my private group of students, but I just feel that there's probably too much personal information in here. Even though I know that you could just look up what a website's IP address is by just going who is, and you know the name of it, and you can look up all these records publicly on the MX place just by typing in the name of the website. You can see all of the zone records there anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, yeah, there might be something beyond my knowledge that I'm exposing if I was to show anyone else this video but you. I was going to ask you, because I will ask you for your permission for other videos. I've got a group on Facebook and I'm going to invite you to this group. I'll just quickly look it up so I can explain. I've got my Foxy website marketing club now, right? And I post videos and outside links as well, all about website design and maintaining a WordPress website and Google Ads and everything. And if there's a video that I make for you that I think I can share on this group where it's not confidential, I will ask for your permission first. And I was going to do that for this video, but I'm just thinking now, you know what? Like, even though I feel I think it's safe, there's just I think I've just shown too much here that I'm just unsure about. So I'm going to keep this private for your eyes only. So yeah, if you were wondering why that speech was like that, why I wasn't talking directly to you, that's why, because I kind of had it in mind to share this with some of my students as well, but now I won't. All right, but I will keep pausing this video until I get a good result here on this DMARC. So I'll just try it one more time while we're here. Nope. So I'll just have to wait a little bit. But yeah, don't forget to go through and change, or ask me to change all of these as well, Matt, seeing as I have updated this from online. And I may as well try logging in again too now, because it's going to be, that email is going to come from online. So let's try logging in with the two-factor. And I'll just log in over here. And traffic lights. And remember me. And let's see if I can log in successfully. Yeah, that worked no problems. And I'll just point out too, online at eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au. So note how SMTP took over of where the emails come from if you don't specify it. So it took that over from iTheme security without even me going into iTheme security, okay? So just be aware of that. I'll add that to my contacts so that that's like a safe sender, and that should ensure the deliverability of these now, Matt. All right. Now, look, if this, I need to turn this video off, and I need to get it to you as well. So I'll just look this up one more time. No, DMARC's still not. If this isn't fixed up by tomorrow, I'll keep this tab open. If this isn't fixed up by tomorrow, I'll need to get in touch with Crazy Domain Support to try and work out why this is not, working. Oh, I see. DMARC policy not enabled. But I do point out that the record was found. The record's valid. All external domains in your DMARC record are giving permission to send them to them DMARC reports. And multiple DMARC records connected to a single record, which is a green tick. So I don't even pretend to understand what that means. There should only be one DMARC record. WP Mail told us there wasn't before. So that's the one that I set up. DMARC there. There's nothing else that says, oh, look, there's DMARC there. There's a DMARC there. That's set up differently. That's just value equals DMARC 1. And what have we got here? Value equals DMARC 1. But it hasn't got the rest of them in there. Yeah. All right. So there's another DMARC, which I don't believe is good. I'm going to get rid of that one. It's easy enough to replace, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense here. dmarc.eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au space eyeofthetigerfitness.com.au. It's just repeating itself. It doesn't make any sense. We'll get rid of that record. Let's see what it says now over here on our DMARC lookup. Still says multiple, but again, yeah. Let's get some more info on this. I may as well now, just because this is between you and I. To view problem details, register for a free account. To set a quarantine or reject policy on the domain's DMARC record. Setting a quarantine or reject value will prevent fraudsters from spoofing blah, 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 blah. It is advised to not set a quarantine or reject policy until you have evaluated your DMARC records to make sure you don't have any legitimate senders that have email delivery. All right, we'll get to this point later then. Let's wait for that report. Send me through that report when you get it. And we'll learn more about this DMARC stuff. All right. Hope this was helpful. And thanks for watching, Matt. And yeah, just about your mum. Yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. My dad passed away last year as well. After a big battle with cancer for a couple of years. And we all knew it was coming, so we were all very happy that we got that opportunity to spend quality time with him. I miss him a lot, but you know, hey, we're all going to be there one day, right? So yeah, anyway, condolences, and yeah, what else can you say? All the best.